I come with this message for can tell Ambazonians. Say as French Cameroon, it organized preparative meeting inside Ambazonia for force our student them, youth, for go out there, for go march, for commemorate this criminal plebiscite day, where they call us 11 February, when I keep you into bondage till death, what they tell you now, Ambazonians. We don't ban all French Cameroon official dates of any celebration will include Ambazonians inside the agenda, inside Ambazonia. Southern Cameroon's na independent state. From 1st October 2017, we don't tell the Republic of Cameroon, say now we Ambazonian, they in charge of our national territory. So I come this morning for can send this message. Make una know say the federal government, it don't announce 1 week total lockdown in Ambazonians. We go start from the 6th till the 13th of February 2024. I want to remind Ambazonians, say make una the mostly visit the interviews of our ancestors. For example, if una watch the video where they be interview late Jongu Foncha, our late Prime Minister, where we talk and clear for that video. Say 11 February day, it will be commemorated only inside the Southern Cameroons. But Ayijo, it became nationalized the date. He annexed Southern Cameroon, Ambazonia forcefully. So we tell all Ambazonians, say that date, now a very bad date in Ambazonia, where they make you think about our wounds, our forefathers, our heroes, where French Cameroon, they don't kill them. Till death, they still kill Ambazonians. So I come this morning, and they remind all Southern Cameroonians, all Ambazonians, say make we know say we they out there for enforce this 6-day lockdown. We go start from the 6th till the 13th of February 2024. Any defaulter will be shot and killed close range. Stay at home and stay safe.
Okay. One thing that I want you guys to understand is the evolution of our nation, right? He said Foncha used to celebrate the 11th of February in the English zone. Now Aijo said, let it become something that we do national. And he encourages you to go listen to that. What is wrong with Aijo saying, let this event be something that the entire nation celebrates? Let's think, because this is how we step back and like, okay, but let's ask a question. What is wrong? It's the same thing like how we've been interpreting every action of the French-speaking Cameroonians as something to marginalize us, to take from us something. I don't know where this comes from. I don't know why we feel this way. Even the celebration of a day, we look at it as it's a threat. Guys, that day today, we don't want that day to be celebrated. But that is the day that we actually had our independence. 11 February is really the day that we had our independence. That's the day that the elections came out and like, okay, we've chosen our fate. 11 February. When you refuse to celebrate that day, you are assuming that you're still in bondage. You're still under colonial influence. That day is the day that you say, we chose today to decide our future. That is the significance of 11 February. That's why it's for the youth, because they are the future. That is why they call it Youth Day, so that we remember that this is the day that we were freed from colonial influence. Are you guys understanding what I'm saying? What is wrong with the entire nation celebrating that day? Because some people think, oh, 1st of October is the real day. Oh, 11th of February was not the real thing. And my question to you is, when you write GCE, let's say, for instance, you write your GCE advanced level or maybe ordinary level, and then the results come out. you go to that board and you see your name. What do? You go out and start celebrating. You call your friends and say you made it. Do you have a certification yet? No. Have you received your final certificate? No. But you go on to put up a show and celebrate with your friends. 11th of February is the day the results came out. The event that happened on October 1st, 1961, that was amazing. But the day we knew that we've chosen our destiny was February 11th. Are you guys understanding with me? You wait sometimes maybe 1 year to even receive your certification. But when you saw your name on that list, you went out there and you threw a party. But one thing I want us to understand, my people, why is it that we've interpreted every action towards unity in that nation as something evil? I mean, that's something we have to confront in us. Like, yeah, but why is it that we've interpreted every action of the French-speaking Cameroonians as evil? Why? Now, when the nation transitioned from a federal system to a unitary system, we thought it was something evil. Now, these are nations that transitioned from a federal system to a unitary system of government. And there are many reasons that is said, and it includes political, social, and economic factors. Egypt transitioned from a federal system to a unitary system. Are you guys understanding me? Ghana transitioned from a federal system to a unitary system. Sudan transitioned from a federal system to a unitary system. Indonesia also transferred from a federal system to a unitary system. So Egypt transferred from a federal system to a unitary system. Ghana transitioned from a federal system to a unitary system. Sudan transitioned from a federal system to a unitary. Indonesia transitioned from a federal system to a unitary system. So there are other nations on earth that have done it, and they are doing just fine. Why do we interpret it as something evil? Cameroonians, you guys got to do your homework, research, read, and study, and understand that what you are going through, there are other nations that have gone through, and they are doing just fine. Not every nation that started with federation maintained that forever. Many nations have changed their systems because it is subjective to what is going on in that country, and it is determined based on the leaders and their ability to either lead a federal system or a unitary system. And they said there are political, there are economic factors involved, and there are social factors involved. And if you look at the transition in Cameroon, all of these factors had to play a crucial role transitioning the government or transitioning the nation from a federal to a unitary system and to the Republic of Cameroon. When the two become one, as the Bible states it, in marriage, the bond is stronger. If you want to have a federation or that kind of idea of federation that we had, it's going to be tough. And Amadu Ahijo understood how to lead a nation that is one. That is what he learned from the French. That is what he knows. There is no malicious intention. That is what he knows. You have to study the French culture, because I had to stop, go look at France and the system within France, and to understand the French man, the French culture. That is the nation that colonized French-speaking Cameroonians. We were one under Germans. We did not know any of these systems. When Franks came to our brothers, that's what they had. We had indirect role, and indirect role is what the British used to administer us. So we understand this kind of stay in your own corner, you stay in your own corner, let's live together. No, the Frenchmen, they are the majority in that nation. They were more competent to lead themselves, and so they had their independence. So we coming together, they understand that to manage this system, it will be better that we unite. It is easy to manage when we unite. And our people have always misinterpreted them, misunderstand them, labeled them, suspicious of them because of this. And because of that, they're like, these guys always keep thinking this way. And so we've deprived ourselves from opportunities, developmental opportunities in that nation because of this thinking. I want to ask our brothers and sisters that are fighting, have you taken the time to go study the colonial masters of French-speaking Cameroonians? Have you studied the mindset of French-speaking Cameroonians? Why they do what they do, where it came from? Because these are black people that they never had any of this system. That's how I look at this problem. You step out of the box. Think before you get into the box. Don't try to think out of the box. You got to think first before you get into the box. Because some of you are in the box right now. You have the Ambazonian box. They ask you, where did this name come from? You can't even say it. They ask you, why did you believe in this idea? You can't even say it. And that's exactly what I'm saying, because if you look at it carefully, you realize that these people came with this French system is direct role. It's assimilation. That is what they know. It is not evil, it's not bad. That is just what they know. And when you see things this way, when you've studied, because you cannot arrive at this kind of conclusion if you have not studied. If I ask you, how many books have you read about the French system or the English system, you will not even quote one. But yet you have Ambazonia in your head. Yet you want to fight, you want to separate the nation. How many books have you read about the French culture, the French way of life, the French way of government, the French way of managing an economy, the French lifestyle? How many books have you read on this to understand these people? Because some of you just throw even stones at me or say nasty things about me. I have read. I have studied. I have studied Napoleon Bonaparte. I've read countless books about French history, going back to the 14th century to understand their evolution, their culture, their way of life. And I want to let you know, this is how the French man works. And if you understand that, you will not interpret it as malicious. Don't generalize the French system around the world to demonize your brothers. Don't generalize the Frenchman's way to demonize your brothers. Understand them and where they are coming from. I understand us. We advocate for this federalism, or we advocate for this independent state because we are coming from the English system as well. We like America, we have 50 states. We understand Nigeria have different states. We understand that system. You will not hear a lot of federation within French colonies, even in Africa. Because the Frenchman is direct role assimilation. I make you become like me so that we can manage systems easily. That is what they know. Imagine where we will be today if you guys step back, read, study, and understand your French-speaking brothers. We will be further than where we are right now. You would have understood how to initiate ideas coming from the English culture. And you'll be able to communicate with them better about the ideas that they are coming with from the French culture. At the end of the day is that you guys look at what you guys come with that is good, and they look at what they're coming with from the French side that is good, so that together you guys can make a Cameroon that is good. And that is the dimension that I've been able to stretch my thinking to arrive at this decision and to arrive at this perspective as to how I see this problem. Do you guys understand me? If you travel to France today after living in America, There are some things that the Frenchman is just going to look at you and say, this guy is weird. Like today, even in France, people still like pee on the road, right? People use men like stand on the side of the road and they will pee. In America here is weird. There are restrooms in every supermarket stores. And so doing that is weird in America, but in France, that is normal. You have culture shock wherever you go. The lifestyle here in America is different compared to the lifestyle somewhere else. The Frenchman values his bread a lot. They like bread so much. These are all cultural changes. Here in the Northwest, or maybe in America, bread is not a big thing, but I'm just helping you understand that without taking the time to study other cultures, study the relationship and the history of the people that you're joining, you always interpret their actions. And this is this is like the foundation of this Anglophone crisis, is the failure to understand the Frenchman's way, to understand that these people, they had their independence before us. Aijo was the main guy running the show. There is no malicious intention. This is just how they do things. Now I understand them. This is how I will walk around this to initiate something that I know comes from the English side that works and can help this nation move forward. Different way of thinking. But if you're shouting and talking, you can't even hear yourself. So these are nations that have transitioned. Some of them are English nations as well, like Ghana. Are you guys understanding? This thinking time. We got to use our brain, guys. Got to keep thinking. It's the only thing God gave us. And that is why we make life easy when we think, when we use our brains, when we are not just moved by emotions, by crowd, by what majority says. No, we step back and look at the situation differently. So the idea that man was born free, but everywhere in chains is evident, right? Man was born free, but everywhere in chains. We could look at political systems and structures to be the chains that hold us down, or we can choose to assume that status of freedom in our minds. All the things Cho Ayaba just said, I want to let you understand that African Americans, that is the black Americans in this country, can rise up with that story and they will have a valid case, so strong, more than what we have in Cameroon, and have a reason to fight. Like the white man came to Africa and we sold our own brothers as slaves and they bought them, took them over to America. These people have a valid claim. We had a plebiscite, for crying out loud. Are you guys understanding what I'm saying? We had a plebiscite. And through this plebiscite, we chose our fate. To bring out this kind of energy out of people is wrong. It's wrong. Like I've said, the failure to understand our French-speaking brothers has led us to where we are today. This misunderstanding. I want to let you know there are many minority groups around the world that have a valid claim that is so strong, more than what we have. And they should rise up and destroy that nation where they find themselves in and break away. This state government that we think is like a federal government or a sovereign government. The federal government is the sovereign government. That is the government that has the authority to preside over that entire nation, sign international treaties. That is the federal government. The state government, like I was talking about Texas, for example, there's a state government. Texas has a constitution. We had that. And we think that is what makes us sovereign. But that is not a sovereign government. We had a state government under UK, under Britain. And that is something that we should emphasize and make a clear distinction between a federal government and a state government. a trusteeship government. What most of our leaders are asking is, we had the power, right? Why didn't we sign a union treaty? Because we haven't signed a union treaty, it indicates that that relationship is illegal. And they take this everywhere with them. And they fight about this. They will say it everywhere that we did not sign a union treaty. And because we did not sign a union treaty, then that relationship is not valid. Can you sign a union treaty now, or you want to break away? You understand what I'm saying? Do you want to sign a union treaty? If something that is so important to you, do you want to sign it now, or you want to break away? The reason why you bring the union treaty card is because you want to find a loophole. Like I said, the motivation is everything. The motivation is to break away. And so every strategy and idea is not to foster unity, but to walk away. So I was looking at this. Does a trusteeship territory have the sovereignty to sign union treaties? And the answer is no. Trusteeship territories do not have full sovereignty, and the ability to sign union treaties or engage in international agreements is typically limited. That is it right there. It is typically limited. During the trusteeship period, the administering authority, often a colonial power, a colonial power, retained control over the territory and conducted its international affairs. That is, if there was supposed to be a treaty between Southern Cameroon and the Republic of Cameroon, Britain was the one to sign on our behalf, not us, because we were not sovereign. Sovereign means we didn't have the power, the mandate. We didn't have the jurisdiction to operate in that capacity. Why? Because we were a trust territory, and it's clear right there. So when you go around spreading the idea that, oh, we didn't sign union treaties, we were not a sovereign state, and so we do not have the mandate or the power or the jurisdiction to sign international treaties. Because that is treaties with another country. That's a treaty that we are getting or engaging in with another country. Britain ought to do that on our behalf. When Britain was done with everything, they told the UN that they were done with their affairs in this territory. And the UN presented to us what we see called the Resolution 1608. That document is really our independence document, the Resolution 1608, because it validates the plebiscite. That is our real independent document, not union treaties. The exchange of notes, yes, that was to facilitate the union, but what we really have is the plebiscite and this certificate. Resolution 1608 certifies, attests a positive plebiscite result. This English is so basic. I hope we are grasping this so that we start asking ourselves different questions. I know the entire motivation is separation. So whatever thing you're saying that will not foster the agenda of separation doesn't really align with our people. And this is what us young people, we're rising up today. We break away from this kind of pain, this kind of bondage, this kind of limited thinking. This is what a state has control over. When you're sovereign, you can sign union treaties. But again, there are other nations that have shown you that came together, even though they had the sovereignty, yet they did not sign union treaties. But they are fine living together today because they came in engaged, knowing that we are here to make it work. Let's do it. We don't have that energy of saying, let's put everything together and make this nation work. And that energy that we never had from inception is the cause of our problem in that nation. And that is what we are changing right now. More people will not die. And anyone that is prophesying that there will be more bloodshed, I rebuke it and I reverse it back to you and your family and your next generation and your nation. Anyone that thinks Cameroon is going to be in pain, I reverse it back to you and your family and your generation and your nation. Cameroon is going to be peaceful. We are going to be cooperative. We will be hardworking. We will follow what works. We will develop our nation. We will not be lazy. We are going to love one another. And we are going to grow and be prosperous. That is what I speak over Cameroon. And this stands. Anybody that has separation, hate, pain, see death, frustration, confusion in Cameroon, and I say back to your family, back to your generation, back to your nation, and let it visit you right down to the third generation. I speak that over you, back to you, back to sender. This is what you guys got to be doing. Reverse their curses back to them. Reverse whatever they say back to them, back to their families, back to their lives. Enough is enough. We are tired of hearing negativity everywhere. If you live in this kind of environment, there's no way to even think creatively or have hope that tomorrow will be better. So start rejecting any negative word said by some pastor or prophet over Cameroon or any individual in that nation. Reverse it back to them. When it visits them, they will start controlling their tongue. Since they say God speaks to them through that way, reverse it back to them. Let it visit them. Let's see if they'll keep saying something evil about themselves or about your nation or about the people that live in Cameroon. Reverse it. When they say it, just go back, hold another meeting and send it back to them. And I'm serious about this because when we start doing this, and most of these prophets, they start feeling the pain and dying, and their families start struggling, they will change their message. Or really go meet God and say, God, why do you keep sending me with negative messages? Send me with good messages. They will come back with good news. Are you understanding what I'm saying? Any prophet that says anything negative about any Cameroonian, say anything negative about our nation, go back, hold your hands together. God has given you the power. Release it back to them and their family and their generation. And as you do that, it will afflict them so bad, they will go back to God, the God that they are going back to, the God that they take those messages from. They will go back to that God and say, hey, God is bad. These people are reversing this curse, and so my whole family is in trouble. We are losing money. We are losing business. We are losing everything. And they will come back with good news. We will do that for 2024. 2024 is the year of reversing every curse said by any prophet over any individual in Cameroon or over Cameroon. We are reversing that curse back to that prophet and their family and their next generation. When that curse visits them, they will go back to God and come back with a new message. Jesus Christ said, I came to speak life. I came so that you might have life and have it more abundant. What have you guys really done that God will keep visiting you with affliction? What have you done that God will keep visiting you with negative messages? What have you done? Are you guys that wicked that you think you deserve to receive this kind of affliction? Why should you even accept it? Do you think you are terrible so much so that God should keep visiting you with bad messages? But today, I want to let you know, you are going to be someone that receives only something positive over your life, and you are reversing every negativity and every curse back to sender. And back to that their God. Because I don't believe in that their God. I don't think that God created anyone to have them suffer. God did not create us to have us suffer. In our erroneous thinking, we choose to go that direction. And through the life of Jesus, he made that straight. And so if any prophet keep listening to a God that sends them with negative message, today they will start feeling it so bad in their lives. From today. Like I said, everywhere around the world, if they say anything negative, put your hands together and visit them back and send it back to sender. All right. If you like this video, you're going to like this other episode, and you can watch it by clicking right here.